Teen Health says that our brains are a part of a complex system called the nervous system. The nervous system makes up two parts: the central nervous system, or KNS, which is located here and consists of the brain and the spinal cord, and then there's the peripheral nervous system, or PNS, which is located here and is connected to the central nervous system and acts as a highway from getting messages from here to here, using sensory and motor neurons. Better Health says that our brains control our actions, sensations, and emotions, and is filled with billions of neurons, which generate these electrical pulses or messages, which make us feel these actions, sensations, and emotions. However, just like other parts of the body, they can be faulty. And when the brain is faulty, we can say that it has a neurological disorder. And specifically, Mr. Wiki says that
a neurological disorder is any disorder of the nervous system. Structural, biochemical or electrical abnormalities in the brain, spinal cord or other nerves.
According to Disabled World, some neurological disorders include brain tumors, Alzheimer's, stroke, and the one that we'll be talking about today, epilepsy. WHO says that around 50 million people suffer from this disorder, which Better Health describes it as a tendency to having unprovoked, uncontrolled seizures. But what are seizures? Mayo Clinic describes it as uncontrollable bursts of electrical disturbance in the brain. Seizures can be further categorized into two groups: focal seizures and generalized seizures. Focal seizures occur in one specific part of the brain and can result in either impaired awareness, which makes someone partially or fully lose consciousness and can result in them staring into space. Focal seizures without loss of consciousness results in involuntary movement or jerking of a body part. Now, it's not always the case, but focal seizures can turn into generalized seizures. Generalized seizures affect the whole brain and can result in many different types of seizures. Some examples are tonic seizures, which make someone's muscles go all stiff and fall over; clonic seizures, which make someone have convulsions or rhythmic jerking; and then there's tonic-clonic seizures, which make someone's muscles go all stiff, they fall to the ground, and then they do some rhythmic jerking. A++ for the creative names. However, according to Health Direction, seizures don't just pop out of nowhere, and instead they're caused by something called seizure triggers. Seizure triggers can vary from patient to patient, but some common ones are lack of sleep, stress, drugs, flickering lights, and menstruation. The cause of epilepsy is unknown in half of all cases. However, we do know that genetics plays an important factor. Epilepsy can also be caused by any damage to the brain, including, but not limited to, brain abscess, alcohol abuse, strokes, drug abuse, and this. But don't worry, even though Better Health says that epilepsy is uncurable, the seizures may still be prevented. This can include a ketogenic diet, avoiding the seizure triggers. Anti-epileptic drugs seem to work the trick for 70% of patients. And in some cases, doctors can surgically remove problematic brain tissue to prevent the seizures. But don't worry, not with a straw. When it comes to diagnosing epilepsy, Health Direct states that it's not always easy, because seizures can be infrequent and sporadic. But nevertheless, there are still a variety of tests that can be done to diagnose epilepsy. For example, electroencephalograms, or EGG, computed tomography, or CT, and magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI. People who live with epilepsy can live fairly normal lives. However, they are put at a greater risk because there is no guarantee when or where a seizure is going to occur. Well, unless you're a dog. Which Medical News Today states that dogs can detect seizures in patients up to 45 minutes before the actual event. No one really knows how they actually do this though. Some people say that it's to do with odors, others say it's to do with change in behavior. Or you're like me and think it's to do with these guys. Someone may develop epilepsy at any time of life. However, Better Health says that it's commonly diagnosed in children and people over the age of 65. More than half of children with epilepsy will grow out of their seizures over time, while the others will continue to have seizures throughout their life. Health Direct suggests that people with epilepsy should avoid using heavy machinery, working from heights, and underwater. According to the Epilepsy Foundation, depending on how severe your epilepsy is, there is a range of different government allowances that you are eligible for. For example, disability support pension, the sickness allowance. If a carer is needed, then there's always the carer allowance, and the list goes on. As well as government allowances, the online organisation Epilepsy Action Australia creates fundraisers for researchers and families with epilepsy. But does epilepsy stop you from having a fulfilling life? Well, I don't know. Maybe ask Lil Wayne, or Danny Glover, Rick Harrison, Prince, or Theodore Roosevelt.